CJ Flyer back with another YouTube video. The Dallas Mavericks have been making some huge moves recently, including none other than the hiring of the new head coach today, Dusty May, coming from the Michigan Wolverines. He led them to the national championship in college basketball this past season. And, you know, there is a little bit of hesitancy sometimes when you look at a college coach transitioning to the NBA. How will the strategies, how will the coaching translate? You know, you're dealing with younger players that need more development, and then transitioning over to the NBA where you have more established players, you have more experience, you have different strategies, different play styles that you have to account for that you don't really have to deal with at the college level. The talent is, of course, much better that you have to game plan for. It's an 82-game season instead of a 30-game season, so on and so forth. But I'm feeling very confident and optimistic about Dusty May as the head coach of the Dallas Mavericks, because if you look at this Michigan roster that he led to the national championship and won that game with this past season, this was a team mostly of transfer players, first-year transfer players. I believe it was 11 of the 14 scholarship players that were transfers, and being able to bring them all together within that one season, getting them to mesh and play well, and well enough to win a championship. I mean, you have to be prepared to do that in the NBA as well. You know, things can change overnight. Players get traded, moved around, injuries constantly happen. You have to make adjustments, and clearly Dusty May is capable of at least doing that. Now, whether he can do it at an NBA level versus what he was able to do at the college level, well, we'll have to see. But the fact that, you know, this Mavs roster does have some very young players that are at that college level or have just come off from that college level. Of course, you got Cooper Flagg, you got whoever the Mavs are going to draft tomorrow and the next day. And then, of course, you got some other young guys. You got Nembhard, you got Brandon Williams, you got Max Christie. You've got plenty of young guys on this roster in addition to the vets such as Klay Thompson and Kyrie Irving. So I'm feeling pretty optimistic given all of that into consideration. Now, of course, besides Dusty May, the Mavs also recently hired Masai Ujiri as the president of basketball operations for the franchise. And of course, Masai, he is very well known for his time at the Toronto Raptors. And what did he do over there? He was able to put together a huge trade to bring Kawhi Leonard to the Toronto Raptors and win that NBA championship in 2019. So would he be able to bring some of that same magic back with the Dallas Mavericks? We'll have to see. So far, I have high hopes. You know, at least I don't believe he's going to just trade Cooper Flagg in the middle of the night like Nico Harrison did with Luka Doncic. I could be wrong, I guess. I don't know. You never know. No one thought the Luka trade was going to happen, so I guess you can never say never, but I think the odds are much lower than when you have Nico Harrison as your GM. So I'm very confident that at least, you know, we're turning the page here, new foundation being developed. It's as strong of a foundation as you can get given the situation that happened a year and a half ago. And yeah, I'm feeling a little bit optimistic about this team and the direction they're taking. We'll see what happens draft day tomorrow. Will the Mavs make any moves to move up or down in the draft? You know, it's kind of hard to tell because of the rumors coming out. You know, the rumors that they might trade Daniel Gafford and the number 9 pick to move up in the draft. And then there's the rumors that they would trade the number 9 pick to the Oklahoma City Thunder for the number 12 and number 17 pick. So really hard to say what's actually going to happen at this moment. But nonetheless, I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out of draft day tomorrow. I think regardless of what does happen with the picks, there's definitely going to be some players that get moved, I believe. And you know, the first thing I thought when I heard the rumor of Gafford being traded is, you know, it was a little bit sad. Obviously, Gafford was a huge piece of that team that made it to the 2024 finals. It was fun to watch him, especially with Luka throwing lobs to him. And he's always a solid defender, brings high energy to the team. And it would be unfortunate to see him go. But again, you know, trying to let go of what was that 2024 Mavs team, because with Luka traded and gone, at this point, you know, the rest of the roster was built to be around him, really. And without him as the centerpiece, it changes things up a little bit. Now, can Cooper Flagg be, you know, the primary guy and you can still have the same supporting cast around him? Maybe, but, he's not Luka Doncic, right? He doesn't have the same play style as Luka Doncic. While Cooper Flagg has been put into a position at times last season to where he can be the primary ball handler or just, be the guy with the ball in his hands for most of the 24-second shot clock, is he the kind of guy that, it's not the same type of offense that is running through him as what Luka Doncic had. And of course now, with a new head coach coming in Dusty May, there's going to be new schemes, new offensive play style, and so that's all going to look very different too. So of course, Masai needs to assist in building a team that Dusty May is able to coach to his liking. So lots of things are going to be happening here in the next 24 to 48 hours. I have no doubt about that. Stay tuned for more. And one last thing to comment on, of course, we got the news a couple weeks ago that the Dallas Mavericks are going to be moving away from the American Airlines Center in Victory Park, and they're going to be moving to North Dallas to the old location of the Valley View Mall. Now, I want to kind of make a separate video talking about that and my thoughts on that. I've seen a lot of negativity about it online. I don't disagree with the points that have been made, but I actually don't think this is a terrible location to relocate, with all things considered. Obviously, one of the big negative aspects is a lack of public transit to that area, but I think there's also some positives as well. I'll talk about that in another video. Let me know what you guys think of these moves the Dallas Mavericks have been making so far in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys on the next one.